Breaking news just coming in after two-day France tour. Modi is in United Arab Emirates. Prime Minister Modi meets UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, holds wide-ranging talks with the UAE President. Up next, Prime Minister Modi is going to be attending a banquet lunch. This is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's fifth trip to the Gulf country, growing the bilateral ties between India and UAE. On the agenda, tech and energy both. You can get those visuals coming in right there. Next up, there's a banquet lunch that the Prime Minister Modi is going to have in the United Arab Emirates. He's right there to strengthen ties between India and UAE. The focus is on energy, on security, on defense, food as well, and those are the focus areas that the Prime Minister will be focusing on during this visit to the UAE. The two countries are going to be reviewing the progress in the bilateral relations. There's a lot which is on the agenda. It was a power-packed trip to France, and now he's in United Arab Emirates. Wide-ranging talks have been scheduled with the UAE President after the France tour. He's now in UAE. He met UAE President Mohamed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. These are visuals on your screens. First up on India Today, Geeta Mohan, our Foreign Affairs Editor, joins us. Geeta, throwing straight across to you for all the details. Up next, we are picking up that the Prime Minister is going to be attending the banquet lunch. And this is his fifth trip, of course, to the Gulf country. How has Modi, over the years, strengthened the bilateral relationship between the two countries?
Well, the fact that Prime Minister Modi began his tours abroad after assuming office in 2014, the West Asia Connect was a very important aspect of India's foreign policy. And in August 2015, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was the first Indian premier to have visited the UAE in 34 years. The last Indian Prime Minister who visited West Asia or the UAE was Indira Gandhi in 1981. An area, a country and an entire region that should have been India's focus. It is just a part of an extended neighborhood for India. Should have been India's focus, remained absolutely out of the realm of premier visits. And now, since 2015, we've seen the fifth visit by Prime Minister Modi, two by Sheikh Al Nahyan to India, in all 7 high-level visits between the two countries, apart from all the other ministerial visits that we have seen. This is also a country in West Asia, a key member of the OIC that supports India on Kashmir. While they, of course, have endorsed the statements at OIC, UAE has pledged 500 crores, the MR Group, to invest in Kashmir. They attended the G20 event in Srinagar. That clearly shows the kind of strategic partnership that the UAE wants with India. Today, as we speak about the bilaterals that are taking place, there are some key announcements, like you rightly pointed out, Chaiti, on the technology, digital, energy front. But there is also an announcement of an IIT, the Indian Institute of Technology campus now, that will be established and built in Abu Dhabi as well. So we are looking at a lot of people-to-people contact. Ambassador Sudhir was very right in pointing out the golden visa for Indians that has really enhanced movement between the two countries and growing businesses between the two nations. The Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement is something that the two leaders would have reviewed or would review. And there has been an increase in bilateral trade, which is up about 19%, standing at about 85 billion US dollars. So a lot when it comes to how important the UAE is. Also look at the larger perspective of the geostrategic position of UAE, as also how China's influence is growing within the region. China trying to become peacemaker with the recent Iran-Saudi Arabia deal. In all that, the West, that is so focused on the Indo-Pacific, particularly the United States of America, has only one key partner who really can keep West Asia engaged, particularly the United Arab Emirates, and that is India. So the West looking at India to ensure that there is an alternative for the UAE, and the UAE understands the importance of India with the kind of engagement that China has had in the region and how aggressive Beijing can really get. So in all, both leaders have understood the importance of having each other's back, remaining connected with each other, and we haven't seen the kind of leadership connect that we've seen between these two countries in the recent past for so many years. Like I said, the last premier visit from India was in 1981, before Prime Minister Modi took office in 2014 and visited the Emirati Republic in August of 2015.
Well, right, absolutely, Geeta. That's quite extensive right there. This is the 5th trip to the Gulf country of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A lot on the agenda now. At the moment, Geeta, do you have the schedule with you?
Do I have what, Sheikh?
The schedule, Prime Minister's schedule. He's headed for a lunch, I believe. What's next?
Yes, after that, after the lunch, he heads back home. He would be boarding the Air India 1 for New Delhi. It was a short but a very comprehensive visit. You will see that when the press statements are issued on how important and significant this visit is, although very short, but very comprehensive. And we know that the Prime Minister always engages the Indian community. He had done that not so long ago because he had visited the UAE not so long ago. So this time around, there is no Indian community event because the visit is short and he has to be back in Delhi. So it began with the meeting with Al Jaber, who is Sultan Al Jaber, who is the head of ADNOC, but also the president-elect of COP28, climate change being foremost on India's agenda, and the UAE getting a backing when the world is questioning Al Jaber's appointment, given that he heads ADNOC, which is an oil firm, and many quarters have been criticizing the conflict of interest that really that one could see. But over here, India looking at the larger picture, because the UAE, any important Sheikh or Sultan or any important individual would have a connect with oil and gas. So that cannot be, these leaders cannot be removed from the fact that their entire base is their economy thrives and has been thriving on oil. Having said that, for India, it is important to connect with the UAE on climate change, and COP28 is going to be the first review meeting after the Paris Agreement, which is going to be very critical in how the world is going to take forward the fight against climate change. So that was his first meeting, followed by the welcome ceremony, the bilaterals taking place right now, which will be followed by press statements, a banquet lunch, and then he's going to return to Delhi.
It's been a quite power-packed journey for the Prime Minister, Geeta, right from the US to all the other nations that he went to, and then finally France, and now the UAE. A lot to bring back once he's home.
Well, that's right. It has been a very hectic month for Prime Minister Modi, whether it's the US-Egypt leg or, for that matter, now the France-UAE leg. All these four countries very critical, very important for India. Also remember, Chetty, like we have been discussing since morning, UAE is a very important partner that has stood by India, has supported India on India's position of Kashmir after the revocation of certain provisions of Article 370.